We've all heard the saying, money can't buy happiness. And deep down, we know that's true. But let's also be honest. Financial stress can suffocate your joy. It can steal your sleep, silence your dreams, make you second-guess your worth, your future, even your past. Planning for retirement shouldn't be an afterthought. It's not something you just wing, especially not in this economy. Your financial independence isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. And if you're in your 50s, building stability at this stage is not too late. While leaning on your children might be rooted in tradition, it may not hold up in the world we live in now. This isn't about guilt. It's about power, dignity, and peace. In many cultures, children caring for their aging parents is a sign of honor, not obligation. In China, the concept of filial piety, shao, has been a cornerstone of family life for centuries. Children are expected to respect and care for their parents, both emotionally and financially. This tradition is so integral that laws have been enacted to enforce it, requiring adult children to support their elderly parents. Similarly, in India, the joint family system often sees multiple generations living under one roof. Children are raised with the understanding that they will care for their parents in old age, a practice that reinforces familial bonds and ensures elders are not left alone. In Hispanic cultures, the family unit is paramount. It's common for adult children to live with or near their parents, providing daily support and ensuring that elders remain integral members of the household. Across African societies, elders are revered as the custodians of wisdom and tradition. Children are taught from a young age to honor and care for their aging parents, viewing it as a moral and communal responsibility. Among Indigenous American communities, the concept of communal living and mutual support extends to elder care. Children participate in caregiving activities, learning the importance of supporting their elders as a communal duty. These cultural practices highlight the value placed on elder care within families. However, as societies evolve, economic pressures and changing lifestyles can challenge these traditions, making it essential to balance cultural expectations with practical planning. While the idea of children supporting their aging parents is deeply rooted in many cultures and born out of love, duty, and respect, it's important to ask, is it still realistic, and more importantly, is it sustainable? Yes, it's true, no one lies on their deathbed wishing they'd made more money, but let's not pretend that money doesn't matter, because the same people who say that rarely talk about the guilt, stress, and emotional toll that falls on children when aging parents haven't prepared. And no one wants to live their final years feeling like a burden, especially to the people they love most. What legacy do we really want to leave? One where our children are free to love us, or one where they feel silently crushed under the weight of our unmet needs? Financial independence isn't just about dignity for you, it's about freedom for them. So while love may be unconditional, sustaining someone financially is not always realistic or fair. And the most loving act might not be asking for help, but ensuring they'll never have to give it out of desperation. Right now, many Gen Xers, often called the forgotten generation, are quietly carrying an enormous weight. Many are providing care and support for their aging boomer parents while still trying to help their own kids launch in an economy that feels less forgiving by the day. And here's where it gets even more complicated. If Gen X doesn't have the means or doesn't make a plan, and then assumes their children will one day fill the financial gap, those children are left with less time, fewer resources, and even fewer safety nets to secure their future. The cycle quietly repeats. But the strain? It doesn't just continue, it compounds. Generation after generation buried under the quiet burden of love and the louder reality of survival. So what's the solution? Maybe you're watching this and thinking, this is all true, but I've got limited savings, rising costs, and no financial cushion. How do I start planning when I'm already playing catch-up? Truth is, there's no magic fix. A lot of financial advice for women in midlife misses the mark. It's either overly vague and just start investing, but with no real steps, or it feels shaming. You should have planned for this years ago. And sometimes it swings into fantasy. Start a 6-figure business from your kitchen table in 30 days. But that's not what most of us need. What we need is guidance that's grounded and doable. Something built for real life, not just perfect circumstances. If you're still with me and wondering what to do next, let's start here. We, Generation X, don't have the luxury of crossing our fingers and hoping our children will fill in the gaps. Even the most capable, well-prepared young adults are part of a society that asks everything of them and gives very little in return. It would be a painful miscalculation to assume they can care for us, while also trying to survive, provide, and care for themselves. So if you're ready to build something steadier, without shame and without overwhelm, I created something for women just like us. It's called the Found Plan, and it's linked below. It's free, it's realistic, and it's a way forward. Not perfect, just possible. Because you don't need to be wealthy to build security. You just need to be grounded in what's real and willing to start from where you are. Found is a 5-part framework for women in midlife who want clarity, stability, and peace, not fluff. It stands for F, fix the foundation. Own what you control. Use what you have and navigate with help. Do one small thing every week. This isn't about overnight success. It's about steady, recession-conscious progress that honors your season, your resources, and your resilience. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you're still here, I want you to hear this clearly. You're not behind. You're just arriving differently. I know the financial road can feel overwhelming, especially when the world seems to move faster than we can catch up. And most of the advice out there, it wasn't written for women who've carried others for decades and are just now turning toward themselves. Be sure to check out the Found Plan. It's free and created with you in mind. Because truth is, planning for our later years isn't just wise. It's an act of love. Hoping our children will fill in the gaps without us planning isn't care. It's risk. They're growing up in an economy that asks everything of them and gives very little back. And while they may love us deeply, it's not fair or realistic to assume they'll be able to carry the weight of our futures and their own. That's why this work matters now. Not because we want to control every outcome, but because we want to remove the burden of uncertainty. When you download the Found Plan, here's what you'll get. A personal financial self-check to help you get clear without feeling overwhelmed. A simple monthly budget snapshot to see what's really happening with your money. The full Found breakdown, realistic actions to help you reset without pressure. Insider-level strategies most people never hear unless they have a financial advisor. A weekly homework that works tracker to help you build habits like people with power do. And a quiet kind of confidence that comes from knowing you finally have a place to start. You can download it using the link below. And if this video helped you, leave a comment and let me know what your next step is. You're not too late, you're not too much, you're simply doing it your way. I'll see you in the next one.